Start. As far as Delhi is concerned, I would like to tell the House that as soon as this bill is passed by both the houses, we will introduce universal education for both sexes, for girls as well as for boys, and gradually for the whole area of Delhi stop. Now, sir, I think my friend raised the question with regard to primary education that it should be imparted in the mother tongue of the child, that provision should be made in the bill to that effect. Stop. While it is true that in some of the education acts there is provision for teaching through the mother tongue of the child, we, however, did not consider it necessary to make that provision in this bill because in the Constitution we have an Article 350A, which provides that the state shall endeavor to provide primary education in the mother tongue of the child. So, in view of this constitutional provision, it was not considered necessary to make this provision here. Stop. As far as Delhi is concerned, I would further like to say that here in this cosmopolitan town, there are various schools run by different communities imparting education through different mother tongues. Stop. Already there is provision for teaching in Hindi, for teaching in Urdu, and as I said, there are private schools where instructions are already being imparted through the various regional languages. So, I think it was my friend who objected to the words primary education and said that government were indifferent to basic education, and he said that we were creating a confusion in that direction. Stop. Sir, the expression primary education has been used because that is the word that has been used in the constitution, and as far as basic education is concerned, it is a pattern and the country has already accepted it as a national pattern, and it will be our continuous endeavor to introduce basic education gradually in all the institutions. Stop. I do not think there can be any objection to the use of the expression primary education because that is actually the word that has been used in the constitution. Stop. I am afraid he was not right when he said that the bill was not educative and that greater emphasis was being given to penalize the parents. Stop, sir. If he would look into the bill, he would find that efforts are to be made to contact the parents again and again. Stop. Sir, in spite of the efforts of the government, education continues to suffer from many shortfalls and maladies. Stop. We have miserably failed to provide social education to the people as well as to provide universal education to all our children in the age group of 6 to 14. Stop. This constitutional directive is not likely to be fulfilled given even by the end of the fifth plan or the sixth plan. Stop. There are more illiterates in India today than there are in 1951. Stop. Secondary education continues to be weakest link in our educational system. Stop. This is the position of education. Stop. Para. Mr. Deputy Chairman, there is another very good region, and that is the geographical region. Stop. Unless you make it compulsory upon the state concerned, upon the municipality concerned, to provide schools for every 300 people about 3 to 4 furlongs. Mere geographical reasons will prevent the children from going to school because tender children of 5 and 6 cannot walk a mile or two to attend school's stop. That is why I say these are some of the reasons which have been responsible for the failure of compulsory elementary education. Stop. Let me tell you, Mr. Deputy Chairman, as to what we can do to solve this problem. Stop. In Madras today, without compulsion, I see that enrollment is going up and is very good, and the reason to seek admission first and foremost is the provision of midday meal. Stop. Poor people cannot starve and then read. Poor children cannot starve and then read. Stop. Poor ill clothed children cannot suffer in the cold weather and yet read. Stop. In Madras, where the scheme is more or less equitable, a large attempt has been made, and the state has also made a contribution to provide midday meals for indigent children in many elementary schools. Stop. The result is that the children are backing up strength. Stop. Many children are coming to the schools, and many parents are willing to send their children to the schools. Stop. Era. Number two is the provision of a certain minimum amount of textbooks and the instruments of learning. Stop. These must also be made available in the schools. Stop. We must provide them the facilities, that is provision of midday meal, provision of certain facilities of education, and provision of schools within reachable distance. Stop. I would also like to add one more point, and that is the staggering of the hours of the schools so that children can help the family earn something. Stop. So an imaginative approach to this problem is what is required, and that alone will make compulsory elementary education successful. Stop. No amount of attendance officers and no amount of punishment will be able to achieve success in this matter. Stop. I wish provision had been made in this bill for the provision of midday meals for the children. Stop. Provision must be made to give up a cup of milk where there is cold. Provision must be made for the supply of some clothing to the indigent children, and provision must be made for giving to the poorest children the instruments of education. Stop. I am not suggesting anything new. Stop. Era. In England and in other countries where compulsory education has succeeded, provision of such things had been made, and that is why they have been successful. Stop. Without providing these amenities but merely appointing officers and provision for punishments, this scheme will not succeed, as it did not succeed to that extent in Baroda, though Baroda was very successful in many other respects. So it is absolutely necessary that all these are intended in the implications of this bill to provide midday meals. Stop.